Now, viewers, amid the back and forth between Moscow and U.S., we are learning that U.S. President Donald Trump is now seeking a meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin, focusing on the ongoing war in Ukraine. So there you have U.S. President now wanting to meet Vladimir Putin. The White House now has said that the aim is for the meeting to be productive, not just symbolic, viewers. Now, officials have added that Trump is frustrated with the lack of progress and is pushing for concrete results. We are also learning that Trump has emphasized that the goal is to end the conflict as soon as possible. Listen into that very reaction before I get in my clip.
All between the Secretary of State and Lavrov that led President Trump to believe that President Putin or the Russians did not want a peace deal.
That was not the sole reason, no. I think the Secretary Rubio felt that was actually a productive call. But again, the president wants to make sure that a meeting between himself and President Putin will be a good use of his time.
But what exactly led to President Trump not believing after his call on Thursday, where he said he did think he wanted peace and wanted a peace deal, to believing that Russians were not?
Again, the president wants to see action, not just talk. And I think the president is extremely motivated by the success of his peace deal in the Middle East to get things done. And he wants this war to come to an end. He's been saying it now for 9 months being in office, and he's grown increasingly frustrated.
My colleague Srinjoy joins us live on the broadcast. Now, Srinjoy, what do we make of this? 2 days ago, President Trump said that he doesn't want to meet Putin. Then he imposed sanctions on two biggest oil companies in Russia. Then Putin saying that it will not impact. And now he's saying that he can consider a meeting with Putin. What do we make out with this whole development here?
That's the president for you. He remains the unpredictable president. But if he has met Putin in Alaska, and he has not met Putin in Budapest, in Hungary, and he wants to meet Putin somewhere else, well, let's see what the meeting leads to. It's important that they meet, because if this war has to end, it is important that Putin and Trump meet. But when they will meet, how they will meet, what it will lead to, is very hard to tell.
That's right, only time will tell what this meeting will bring to the table. But now again, I mean, in the context of the Ukraine war, which is already ongoing for 3 years now, Donald Trump first, he took the credit, of course, of ending war in Gaza. He's also, for the longest time, trying to end the Ukraine war. But what do you think? In how many months can we expect actually a ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine? Is it possible in the near future, or are these just speculation going around to end the Ukraine war?
First of all, when the war started, it didn't look like it would last 3 years. And everyone felt that the war would last about a week at the most, and the Russians would win very easily. But the Ukrainians fought back very hard, and at that time, the Russians sustained enormous casualties. Also, as a result of that, the war began to last longer and longer. Now, let's keep this one thing in mind. This war has lasted nearly 3 years. Now, for the Russians, even World War II, which began on the 22nd of June 1941 and ended in May 1945, was roughly 4 years. Now, this war has already lasted 3 years and has led to huge casualties. If you take dead and injured, if you take Ukrainian and Russian, it has led to over 1 million casualties. Let's not forget civilian casualties. The Ukrainians have had enormous civilian casualties. The Russians have also had some civilian casualties. Now, all this is something which is unnecessary. And this is a point Prime Minister Modi has made when he told President Putin directly that the 21st century is not a time for war.
Right.
Yet this war goes on. And at this point, the war has lasted nearly 3 years. Now,
That's
3
right.
years is a long time because wars usually end very quickly in the 21st century or even before.
That's
Let's keep in mind one thing. President Putin thought this war would end in days, and it's lasted nearly 3 years.
Right, so enjoy. You're pointing a very important point here. 3 years to the Ukraine war. Till then, no end in sight. But viewers, we are tracking another breaking news coming in at this point in time. Now, Donald Trump is all set to meet his Chinese President Xi Jinping on October 30. That is what we are learning on the sidelines of the APEC summit. Now, Trump has described, of course, his relationship with Xi Jinping as good, but remain non-committal, saying that we will see what happens. Now, this meeting, the much-awaited meeting, is expected to be a key highlight of his trip. Now, viewers, we have another important breaking news coming in at this point in time that we are tracking now for you. We are learning, this is coming from the United States, we are learning that the White House has doubled down on its overhaul of the H-1B visa system. So another H-1B visa heat up here. It's a strong defense from the White House on its immigration reforms. We are learning, viewers. Now, the White House press secretary has backed the new visa rule. She's saying that the administration will fight all the legal challenges, calling the new policy lawful and necessary. I have my colleague Srinjoy joining us on the broadcast here. Srinjoy, now the H-1B visa war is definitely heating up. The White House has backed the new visa rules. What are we tracking the latest here?
Initially, the H-1B visa rules suggested that it would be very, very tough to get an H-1B visa. Now it appears that it is actually not so difficult. A lot of people are exempt. For instance, someone who is studying in America and has an F1 visa, now he can apply for an H-1B visa without paying $100,000 when he gets it or she gets it. Now, there are significant explanations. The explanations are significant, and therefore a lot of people do not have to pay $100,000. Nevertheless, it's still a tough measure. This is something that was unexpected in some ways, and a lot of IT companies feel that it could hurt them. Also, this is something Indians use. 70% of the recipients of the H-1B visa are Indians. So as a result, this is going to hurt India. Okay, there is some leeway, but even then, it's not going to be easy for India.
Right, thank you so much, Srinjoy, for joining us live on the broadcast here. We'll continue to track that story. With that, viewers, it's time for a short